Week 10 traders, my whole theory about the stock market is that there are predetermined patterns that you can pick out and have a huge clue as to what's going to happen with the stock before you even purchase it. And last week I talked about bull flags. Bull flags are great for the person who wants their stock price to go up in a bullish manner. And it's exactly what I see happening in AG for the past week. You may not have been happy with the price that you look at every single day on Yahoo or wherever you get it, but there's a reason why it was doing what it was doing. And it also coincides and matches up perfectly with the US dollar, which from the very beginning I said I want to drop before silver's going to go up, just like the previous 45 years that we're using for proof. So I just wanted to remind you about a bull flag. You should be doing your own homework. You should not take anything I say as fact, even though I completely, with 100% confidence, believe every single word that I have been saying. And I am still confident we are going to see higher silver and oil prices. I'm 100% on that. No one's going to tell me differently. So let's take a look at AG's long-term chart, the weekly chart since 2004, and I want to show you guys another pennant pattern. AG's weekly chart since 2004. It may be a little bit difficult to see everything right now, but we're going to be zooming in shortly. AG actually, they started in 1979 but changed their name from First Majestic Resources in 2006. So at number one, we've got the oversold level. Then we got the bounces on the resistance and support trend lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 of them. I'm certain of that right now because it's right there in your face. Love sticking it in your face. Grace. But there we are. What do I expect next? Hit number 6. Why? Because the big guys, the professionals, want to make money. Why? Keep their jobs. Why would they buy here? 5's on a support trend line. 6 is on a resistance. At least plenty of room for it to go up in value. Seems reasonable to me. Also, this is a trader's wet dream. In 18 years support trend line and buying in that area, those professionals are jumping all over this. My confidence could not be higher. Things look great. We are still on that lower support trend line. I noticed in years back it went below that support trend line, and right now we are way oversold, and it's going to drive buyers to step back in. And my confidence is high because of the silver futures. Silver futures are also on an 18-year support trend line. This is where I have learned to purchase a stock. I don't give a shit which stock it is. This is where I want to take my risk. This is where I want to step in, and sell areas are on resistance trend lines. So just take a good look at that. It's from 2004. Let's zoom in a little bit closer and get a better look. Weekly chart since 2011, just zoomed in, still the same chart. Still looks like a pennant pattern. That's going to drive buyers to step back in. We're way oversold, sitting on that lower support trend line, an 18-year-old support trend line. Trader's wet dream. Sorry, but it is. I noticed this in 2016. This is an area I want to step in. I better tell everyone, family, friends, I want everyone to succeed. How do you live a happy and great life? Surround yourself with happy people. 1,000 ways to make them happy. Financially is just one of them. I expect hit number 6 on that upper resistance trend line. When? How the hell should I know? I don't talk to these guys. They're not going to talk to me, the professionals. It's against the law anyways. But I use these charts to communicate. I'm trying to find out what they're thinking. When are buyers going to step in? When are sellers going to step in? Two most important questions that I can think of. Matter of fact, the only two things I want to know: earnings, people's opinions. Well, the earnings, they count. They count, but I've watched the stock fly high on bad earnings. Never could figure it out until years later when I use these trend lines. Let's zoom in one more time. Here's the same weekly chart since 2016. Just zooming in a little further. What I notice is that there's a gap on the weekly chart, which means it's going to be pretty big, around $15. I've talked about these gaps many times. Most of the gaps that we've been looking at recently have been to the downside, and we didn't like it, but it's part of the game. Now we have a gap here. I believe it was from middle 2016 near $15. So if you purchased AG somewhere in the beginning of 2017, I wouldn't worry. I know I did. Well, I bought it at the end of 2016, December. I'm not concerned. I know my dad kept asking me, well, why didn't you take that 50% gain? Gosh, you're driving me crazy. I can't blame the guy. It seemed pretty logical. I should have. But if I look towards the right side of the chart, I got that pivot point at 788. And I've explained to you many times in these patterns, I start to expect these patterns to break out around hit number 6. And considering this pattern's about 18 years long, I want to see this happen, and I'm pretty confident that there's a strong possibility we're going to witness it. And I want to be in this damn thing when it happens. So the value of $10 or whatever it was in January 2017, that's not the top I was expecting. You're never going to guess a top or a bottom exact. You might as well just face it right now, make your life a hell of a lot easier. Just call it an area that you want to jump in, or possibly an area you want to get out. You're never going to get that. Well, you might get lucky, you might get it one day, but if you're going to practice it over and over again, you're in for some deep shit. Just take it as it comes, look for the long-term outlooks, and I'm going to finally be able to answer my dad on why I didn't sell in January of 2017, why it wasn't good enough for me. He kept ragging on me. You're looking for a home run. You're looking for this. And the guy's right. I am looking for the home run. But I got 45 years of proof to why I'm expecting the home run. And that's a lot of evidence. It's a lot of proof. I am staying exactly where I am. And right now I want to we don't normally look at a 5-minute chart, 5-day. But there's something I want to show you guys when we zoom into that, last week. We zoom in there. Something pretty interesting. Let's take a look. Here's AG's 5-minute chart since March 1st. I told everyone I'm expecting the rally to begin in March. And your expectations doesn't mean there's just going to be a straight line up. These professionals are going to play their games. They're going to earn money both ways. But the most important thing that I see here right now is I believe I see a bull flag. And we talked about it last week, and I just talked about it in the beginning. This is a huge confidence builder for us bulls. This gives me confidence to think that AG is beginning the trend change just like I expected in March. We get that straight shot up for 1, 2, 3 days, then a consolidation period. So what I am expecting this week, from Monday till however long it takes, I don't know time, but I want to see AG come back down, hit that lower support trend line below 575, bounce, come back up, break through that upper resistance trend line. I know you guys aren't going to like this, but I want to see the value come back down once again, find support on top of that resistance trend line, and I'm confident this bitch is going to rally. It may happen one day. It may take I I don't see it taking 2 weeks to happen. This pattern's getting real tight at the end there. You can't just keep going sideways forever in this. Those bulls and bears are going to choose. And this bull flag's going to play out our way. It gives me confidence to tell you guys it's going to take another step up in value. And buyers are going to make that happen. The professionals, believe me, they see this too. They're the ones making this happen. Time will tell. So will Joe. This shit's looking great, man. Stay exactly where you are. Do not move. Silver futures since 2003. We can see in 2004 sure looks like a pennant formation to me. Look what happened after that pattern played out. Broke out the upper resistance trend line, came back down, found support on it, and sure looks like a rally to me. 2008 came back down, tagged that 18-year support trend line, took off to the biggest silver rally we've seen in years. Damn, I wish I was in that. How many times have you said that? Go looking through these charts and you're just like, man, I wish I would have knew right there that's where it was going to pop. This may be your moment. I honestly, truly mean that. Look where we are now. See another pennant? I'd say it's even a bull flag with the stem coming up. It's beginning of 2016. Consolidation period. We just talked about the pennant and bull flags and how reliable they are last week. There is nothing to fear here. March seems to be going our way. That range in the silver futures keeps getting squeezed. Tighter and tighter and tighter. At the end of these patterns, you can expect a move up or down. I don't think it's going to be down because of that 18-year support trend line. That is solid. Absolutely solid. It's going to scare the sellers. Buyers are drooling, having wet dreams. They've been stepping in already. They hide their buys and sells, pretty well. They can't go screwing with stuff because then there's going to be more regulations. But when I look at this is not a coincidence. This shit just doesn't accidentally happen. The blue collar workers in America we're about 20, from what I've read, 24 to 34% of the market, which leaves the professionals, the banking institutions, the corporations, all the people with money. They're the speculators. They're the one moving it. We're here for the ride. And I'm confident that they're communicating with us through these charts. We've taken our positions. I don't believe you should be worried or concerned. Sleep well. You may not be happy with what's happening right now. Doesn't mean the future is going to, stay the same way. That shit can happen overnight. I've seen it hundreds, possibly thousands of times already. Just when you think you're done, you take your money out, market reverses, and you're screwed. Stay exactly where you are. DO since a double bottom. Don't let last month's move fool you. We are now 2 cents above this month's pivot point. DO's looking strong. Stochastics are turning back up. I think the oil futures, crude oil futures, have found great support. And I'm expecting a big pop in here. We have the 200-day moving average right up above us. We hit that last month. We're going to go retest it now since we broke above the pivot point. Things are looking great in DO. I've got high hopes for crude oil. Looking good. Stay exactly where you are. Crude oil futures since the beginning of 2017. You can see that lower black support trend line. Every time we're oversold, we come down, tag that. Last week we came down, tagged it again, and Friday a huge amount of buyers started stepping back in. Take a look. It's right there in your face again. Oh, I love that. We got that upper resistance black trend line, short one, and I still got a feeling we're going to be removing that long blue resistance trend line up above. I think we're going to plow through that in due time. Maybe go sideways this week according to that little short resistance trend line, but I very confident this isn't going to sell off. Higher lows since the middle of 2017. Just keeps going up. Buyers have noticed that. They're going to keep stepping in. Sellers are staying away. It's what I've learned over the years. I feel great about crude oil. Stay exactly where you are. $89 in due time. US dollar since beginning of 2016. Does it look like it has any strength? Does it look like it wants to really break through that upper black resistance trend line? Said imagine that line last week. I drew it in for you this week. It just keeps knocking it down. Every time it goes up there and tags it, sellers step back in, keep driving the US dollar down further and further. That's that's 2 years right there. Well, actually a year, but it's just going to continue to drop. I think I've got this nailed. One day I'm going to tell you guys I knew it. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'm pretty damn close. I cannot be more confident, and considering that we talked about AG and that bull flag pattern, and we've got 1, 2, 3 days left of that bull flag pattern playing out, you can see the US dollar going back up to that black resistance trend line, tagging it again. At the beginning of next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, fear nothing. It's going to do its thing. You know what to expect now. That's why I love looking at these charts, seeing where resistance is, where support is, and I see no support in the US dollar. Stand your ground, guys. It's headed down. Just to sum everything up, this is the charts comparing the US dollar and silver futures from week 6. I just want to keep reminding you guys, we're still on track. All the rules have been followed. Nothing's gone wrong, nothing's broken. It just takes time for this to happen, and when you take that little sliver of a time frame that you see over on the left hand side, it doesn't give you the picture like the big picture. I am so confident. I know we're going to become I'm going to try not to say no. One day I'm going to say new. I knew. We're on track. Keep this in mind. Just look at this. I believe the silver futures are going to bounce off that lower 18-year support trend line. Buyers are going to eat it up. It's their wet dream. They dream about this stuff all the time. And the dollar's on its way down. So feel confident with this. Here's 45 years of proof. I'm going to keep reminding you guys of this. And when everything comes together, it's going to be great. Just stay where you are. Let the bull flag and AG play out this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday might be a little rough. Might take 3 days for it to go down, find that lower support trend line, head back up, break through the resistance, and then come back down, find support, and then take off. It's how it works. I've watched this stuff for over a decade, and I am extremely confident things are going to work out. We're headed in the right direction now. The trend change is so close. So close, guys.